What is up, everyone? Welcome back to my final video this season on the Fantasy Football Scout YouTube channel. Today, we're having a look at Game Week 38. We're having a look at a free hit draft, talking about a few plans and maybe some players that I think you should just be looking to buy into your team as a bit of a differential this week, or who maybe those highly owned assets are maybe more worth and essential going into this week. If you have enjoyed this video and if you have enjoyed the series that we've had over this year, let me know in the comments down below. Leave a like on the channel and make sure you've subscribed as well. But for the final time, let's get into it. So in goal, we are going to go with David De Gea. We don't have double Manchester United attack in here. Again, it looks like they may have wrapped up top four in the Premier League going into the final day. So there may be a little bit of rotation. There may be a little bit of early subs. Plus, I think they're very good defensively with a nice Fulham at home fixture on the final day. Mitrovic might be out with a bit of revenge after, of course, he got his ban when it was Manchester United versus Fulham earlier on in the season in the FA Cup. But I still think there's a good chance of a clean sheet here. Iverson in here as the backup. You could also go with Ortega, who might be starting in goal from Manchester City. However, they do have Brentford away in their Game Week 38 fixture. So you'd probably just want to start De Gea in goal anyway. Moving into defence, the two bench options we've got are Rico Lewis. So he started today for Manchester City, and I think he might start a couple of the games between now and the end of the season because I don't think he'll be needed in either of the FA Cup final or the Champions League final. However, he's not necessarily going to start for you. He might even be second on your bench as well, behind the Arsenal defender that we have sat on your bench here. Kyria, apologies if I'm going to butcher his name. Someone needs to correct me and tell me how to pronounce his name. The new centre-back that has come in. Yes, Arsenal have petered out this season. They haven't won the league. They haven't finished nearly as strongly as Arsenal fans and the players and the manager will have wanted them to. However, it is Wolves at home in Game Week 38. It is a good fixture. It is a fixture that you'd probably expect them to have a decent chance of keeping a clean sheet in, and I do think punting on him is a good option. Now, we do have a second Arsenal defender in here, and it is Gabriel. You could punt on either of them, but I think Gabriel, with the attacking threat that he has got, is the better option to be going with. Again, Wolves at home this week is a good fixture. He has the attacking threat. He has the ability for a 15-pointer. There will be one of these defenders that gets 15 points in Game Week 38. There always is. It's just trying to predict them. The others, if you want more of a differential, could be the likes of Tarkowski. Again, Bournemouth at home on the final day. Bournemouth conceding a lot of chances from set pieces. Everton being very good from set pieces. Maybe Yeremina's going to score again after he did score in Game Week 37 to rescue a point for Everton. The other two defenders we've got, so we have got Luke Shaw, which doubles up on the Manchester United defence. Again, I think doubling up on the Manchester United defence is a really big differential and a nice differential that you could have taken into Game Week 37 and into Game Week 38 as well. If you watch the free hit video for Game Week 37, I did talk about double Manchester United defence as a little bit of a differential. Shaw in here, he's great for bonus points, as we saw, again, picking up 3 bonus points in Game Week 37, as he did in Game Week 36. So if they keep a clean sheet at home to Fulham, even if he doesn't get attacking returns, the points will be there. One of those players that I definitely want to own going into this week. And the final one, we have Trent Alexander-Arnold away at Southampton on the final day. Didn't get anything in Game Week 37, but previously the clean sheets have been there and the attacking returns have been there. Liverpool, I do expect them to win this. The chances of them getting Champions League is very, very slim, but they are still fighting for 5th and 6th, maybe between Brighton as well. I do expect a strong performance. I do expect them to finish on a high. And I think Trent and the rest of that Liverpool team could put a fair few number of goals past Southampton. Now, Southampton, their last game in the Premier League, might want to try and get on the score sheet, but they haven't looked that great recently, and I do think there's a good chance of a clean sheet in there. So Kyria and Lewis will be on your bench along with Iverson. You'll be starting De Gea and Luke Shaw as your double Manchester United defence with Trent Alexander-Arnold and Gabriel. Now, moving into midfield, the two more boring picks are Marcus Rashford and Mo Salah. Marcus Rashford, it did miss Game Week 36 because he was injured. He missed the first part of Game Week 37 with illness. We are expecting him to be back in that Manchester United lineup going into the second part of Game Week 37 against Chelsea at home, and I am expecting him then to start against Fulham on the final day of the season. There isn't money in here for Marcus Rashford up to Bruno Fernandes, but I still like Marcus Rashford probably as a better option. He's not necessarily on penalties, but he's a cheaper price and it does allow you to do a little bit more. Again, there's normally a lot of goals on the final day, so I am expecting Manchester United, particularly at home. Again, you'll see a lot of home fixtures in this draft. If you're looking for punts, home fixtures and teams with something to fight for are the ones that I'd be looking to target. Then we have Mo Salah, again, away to Southampton. The same sort of echo, the same sort of stuff that I said about Trent. I expect them to win this game. I expect them to win comfortably. Salah is one of the consistent performers for Liverpool as of late. The other attackers are rotating. If you want a bigger differential, I really like the likes of Luis Diaz as well. But Salah is the one you definitely know is going to start and probably play 90 minutes as well against that Southampton defence who are leaking a lot of goals. Then we go with Odegaard, and now I can't decide which Arsenal midfielder I want to put in here. I've gone with Odegaard. I can't afford Saka with this draft. You might be able to, but even he's not been that great recently. I wanted Trossard, but I think there's a chance that maybe Smith Rowe starts or Nelson. And actually, I'm not necessarily certain that Odegaard starts. It might be one that you need to look and potentially wait for some early team news if we get anything on Arsenal. If not, I think Odegaard is the safest of all the mids to start because on that left-hand side, Smith Rowe might get a start. Nelson could play. Saka could be benched. There could be a bit of rotation given that last game means very little apart from a bit of a thank you to the fans for all their support so far this season. But I've gone with Odegaard. Wolves at home. Yes, they don't have anything to play for, but it's still a game I expect them to win comfortably. And finally, it is Eze in our midfield. De Silva is the bench option. You will not be playing him. He'll be sitting third on your bench. If you have a little bit of money to spend, you could upgrade him to a stronger bench option, but we're quite happy with the defenders we've got on the bench. So Eze has looked so good. 26 points in the past 2 game weeks. Nottingham Forest at home. Now, normally we wouldn't be punting in this fixture, but given that Nottingham Forest did beat Arsenal in game week 37, Nottingham Forest are safe. They have nothing left to play for. There'll be a weight lifted off their shoulders, and I think the last home game for Crystal Palace, the last game for Roy Hodgson for Crystal Palace as well, I do think they will win this game. They'll win it comfortably, and Eze always seems to be involved. So that is the midfield for De Silva on the bench, Rashford, Salah, Odegaard and Eze as well. Up front, Haaland does make it. If we get news that Haaland doesn't start, then maybe you change him, but I still think he's going to start this one. Try and get a bit of rhythm now that he was benched in the first part of game week 37. Get rhythm for the FA Cup final. Get rhythm for the Champions League final as well. Brentford away is a difficult fixture. Brentford, particularly at home, are a difficult team to break down. However, if you remember earlier on in the season, Manchester City did lose to Brentford at the Etihad, and I do think that Manchester City and Pep Guardiola might want to go and just show Brentford exactly what they're about and exactly what they are capable of off the back of that result. Then we have 2 maybe more differentials. I can't believe Harry Kane, the seasons he's having with 28 Premier League goals, is a differential, but it is the situation we're in because of the lack of doubles that Spurs and Harry Kane has had. Leeds away. Leeds have to win that game if they want any chance of staying in the Premier League, which means they're going to have to attack. They know they can't defend well enough. They're going to have to score goals, and I think that will leave space in behind for goals and assists for Harry Kane. Now, if you wanted to take a punt, I love the idea of Heung-min Son running in behind that high Leeds line and the amount of goals. I think he has the ability to score. A bit like the last day last year when they played Norwich, I think Son could do really well if you wanted a differential, but Harry Kane, probably the safer pick. And then finally up front, a big differential for me is Iheanacho. Leicester again will have to get a result, have to win on the final day if they want any chance of staying in the Premier League. And one of the players who always seems to return points when he starts is Iheanacho. West Ham at home. West Ham hopefully or potentially having an eye on their Europa Conference League final. Leicester needing a result. West Ham, having played their last home game, are away. Not that much to play for, although they are a team in good form. I quite like Iheanacho as a cheaper differential punt and definitely one I'm actually considering for my latest team. If you want to see what I'm doing with my team, go and check out my transfer plans video, which is already out as well. So this is my game week 38 free hit. There are some differential picks, particularly actually Harry Kane, surprisingly. Iheanacho, Eze is not that highly owned. Odegaard in there as well. Some more template picks like Marcus Rashford and Luke Shaw, Trent, Mo Salah in there as well. And then going back to the Arsenal defence that was so popular earlier on in the season. But that is my game week 38 free hit draft. Let me know what you think. Anything you'd change? Any big punch you'd want? Would you go for Son? Would you go for Luis Diaz potentially in the midfield to triple up on Liverpool or go for another Spurs option? Let me know what you think. Let me know how your season has gone. Anything you're doing, any questions you have, drop it all in the comment section down below. If you like other FPL videos, if you haven't already throughout the season, go and check out my own page, FPL Harry, on Twitter and on YouTube. There's a link above. There's a link down in the description below as well. Thank you all so much for watching. Good luck in game week 38, and I'll see you all next season.